is of the both side before call the score, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So sometimes I encounter a situation, the receiving team that keep talking, and they are not ready forever.
Well, I mean, again, at 15 seconds, you call 15 seconds.
No, I'm not talking about timeout. I'm talking about, side out.
Yeah. So you're wondering, when do you call the score? When are you permitted as the referee to call the score?
Yes, because the receiving team, they are not ready. They keep talking.
Right. Okay. So good question. And your job as a referee is to keep the match moving along. So again, if they want to touch paddles and have a talk, you can call the score when you deem that they should have been in position. So you make that determination is what I'm saying. You give them time to move from A to B. And if they've had time to have moved from A to B position and change position in the court, and they should be standing there, you simply call the score.
Okay, so even they are still talking, right?
Yep, that's fine. Call the score. You will find that you will control the match very quickly and control them very quickly. I've got two people I can think of that in tournaments, and I referee them all the time. And I actually was doing my evaluation, and I met this too. And she wanted to talk and tap rackets after every point with them. And I called the score, and she got mad at me during my evaluation. And I had to say to her, listen, you're taking too much time. I will call the score when I believe you should have been in position. Please move to your position more quickly. And have that nice conversation with them and let them know that you will call the score when they should be in position. You're not waiting all day, especially as the receiving team. As I've already said, I allow the serving team to dictate the pace of the game, not the receivers. It's most important. They're going to be dragging their behind, kicking the ball into the corner. If you see any behavior that is doing that on purpose, that's unsportsmanlike, and you can have a word with them and caution them. Just have a verbal conversation with them. That usually is enough to let them know you're serving notice, that you're watching all aspects of the game, you're in control of the match, and you're going to make those calls.
Okay. Barry, you had a question for Al.
Yes, Alan, when you were talking about watching the non-volleys line, you had mentioned that the toe of the shoe actually has to touch it. So if the toe of the shoe breaks the plane of the line, but is curved up on the court, that's not a fault?
That's correct.
Whoa, that's a tough one to judge on.
It is, but you do your best job as the referee, but as long as you know you're watching that. It's the same thing as a server. When they're doing a service fault, if their foot is above that line and not actually making contact with the line, it is not a fault. It's a very difficult one. I had one that I can remember. I called it last year's nationals, and the person was about to hit a volley, and their foot was coming around and just about to land on the court. And I don't know how the heck he did it, but he pirouetted around and he got his foot off to the side, and I had already called the fault. And he never made contact with it, but his foot was over and about to step right in there, never made contact with it. And I had to apologize and say, referee error. I thought your foot was going to land in the court. And that was fine. But
Okay.
you want to see it touch before you call it.
Okay, thanks very much.
Yes.
Anyway, my question to you is when you get the question from a player about what the score is, surely most of the time it's just repeating the 6-4-2 is what they're looking for. So I don't quite understand why there's that two-stage process.
Yeah, it came out with when the receiver are asking the score, they're usually wanting to know what their score is so that they can move to the correct position by being, the odd or the even person. So they're not interested in the 6-4-2 score. They're interested in knowing that they have 6 points or they have 5 points, and they want to know how to line up. That's why they're asking. So the easiest thing to do is just turn around and say, you've got 6. And that usually suffices. And now they know the person with the band is going to what court.
Yeah, it just seems like a sort of a duplication of effort in a way, because
Well,
by telling them 642, they're also getting the information that they're looking for
Yes, but the
without
problem,
requiring a second question.
granted, but the problem of giving them the complete score is, and I've had it happen, where a team is asked, what is the score? And I go 642, and what do you think happens?
Somebody serves.
That's right. Boom, the ball goes right over your head. They served the
Okay.
ball. So that's what we're getting away from, making inadvertent serves. So we're not going to call the score or make it sound like we're calling the score and giving permission to serve the ball. So we're
Gotcha.
trying to get away from that. And that's why I go, you have 6. No, ref, what's the complete score? Then step in, hands raised, score is 6-4, second server or first server. That way there's no problem in realizing the referee has not called the score in the normal way. That's the distinction I want to make there.
Okay, thank you. That's helpful.
I have a question.
Okay,
If the player's a little slow to get in position to get ready, and you caution them on that, is that not coaching?
no, that's not coaching. That's just allowing you to have control of the game and move them along. Yeah, I get your point that if you don't tell them, you can call them on a fault. But we're not trying to trick them here. We're trying to help them out and facilitate the game and keep it moving. So, it's nice to give them a warning beforehand before you give them a technical, for example.
Okay, thank you.
Right? Again, you don't want to move down that disciplinary path if you don't have to. What is disciplinary all about? The disciplinary process. It's about correcting bad behavior or whatever they're doing that is not correct. And if you can do that by giving them a verbal without going down that path, then that's great. You've won. And that's all it's about. It's not, not really to penalize as much as it is to make the point that I'm in control here and let's move it along.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. Again, it's all about your demeanor out there. And that's what we're going to talk about next time, is how you handle these, odd situations that are on the court, how you present yourself as a professional at all times. And even if you've got some people, I won't say as very good friends on the court, because we're going to talk about that. If they're very good friends, maybe you shouldn't be refereeing, certainly not a relative. But you don't want to show any impartiality at all. So, you just deal with them politely and nicely as anybody else. Anything else?
So Alan, I got a couple of questions.
Okay, please.
How do you choose a 1 or a 2 when you start the game?
All right, it depends what tournament you're at. If you're at a sanctioned tournament or any tournament, the referee desk will put on a 1 or a 2 on
Okay.
that page before you go out there. But it's what I say, as soon as I pick it up, there's a couple of things that you must do. You need to look at the names of the people that are on there, make sure they're not related to you, make sure that they're not too good of a close friend or your doubles partner or whatever it might be. You want to walk away from those, tell the referee's desk that, or the tournament director, head referee, that I'm not comfortable refereeing that person, please give it to somebody else. The next thing you do is you check for the 1 or 2 as you're walking out there. And what I do is I always put my clothespin over the end of that box now, because when I'm walking to the court with the wind, I never know if the players that I'm going to be refereeing are walking beside me, and I don't want to inadvertently show them it, give them an advantage. So make sure you hide that, make sure that it's well known. And the other thing I'll say about that is that I've been to tournaments where guys will say, do you want blue or kokanee, mountain or valley, Ford or Chevy, hills or valleys, whatever it might be. That is not authorized. That's not allowed. It's 1 or 2.
Okay, where's the best place to do the pre-match briefing? In the center of the court, which side, or?
Absolutely. As I say all the time, the center of the court is your office as the referee. So as
Do
soon
you
as
pick either side of the net or?
no, I just go to one side of the net and the players might be on my side, they might be on the other side, some on both. Doesn't matter. Just get that separation. Normally speaking, when you go to a court during a tournament, what you'll see is the 4 players will have already beat you there because they knew what court they were getting on. They go down there to practice as soon as it becomes vacant from the previous match. They'll be on there warming up before you get there.
Got
You'll be given 5 minutes normally to get to the court after the match has been announced. And as soon as you get there, I call them to all together, balls in, please, players in, and take control right away, do your briefing, ask them the 1 or 2, get the names, get the sides, do all the things that we talked about. And then you say, there's 2.5 minutes left. You can continue practice.
So you had suggested in your presentation, which is the best side to be on of the posts?
That- We're gonna save that for next week.
Like the sun and other stuff. Oh, next week. Perfect.
Yeah, we'll save that for next week.
Okay, I got no more questions.
All right.